Hello everyone, it's Friday night. Here we go. Here we go with our fun night of crafting and a little bit of chit chat as well. I hope everyone is well and that you've all had a beautiful day. It's been a great week and we are barreling along closer to our new mini catalogue that comes out in September. Just to avoid any confusion, it doesn't actually start until the 6th of September. I had a couple of people tell me they couldn't wait for the 1st of September, but it actually doesn't start until the 6th. So just something to bear in mind as we head towards the new catalogue. How are we all? I see we've got a few people here already tonight. That's great. Hi, Anna. Welcome back. Margaret, how are you? Who else have we got? Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Seaford, Victoria. What's the weather like down there? Is it cold tonight? It's not too bad here in Sydney. Our nights have been cold, mornings cold, but the days have just been beautiful. So it's really, really lovely. So as Leslie said, it's 12 degrees in Sydney, and we're usually about a degree different to that, usually, where I am. Hey there, Carol. Hey, bros. How are you? Oh, you're cold down there. That's not good. Hey, Janice. Nice to see you. And we've got a whole team of people here. Fantastic. Hey there, Margaret Griffith. Dolores. Now, Dolores, you're over in the US. I think I've got that right. And hey, Donna. Hey, everyone. Oh, it was freezing in Melbourne. That's not good. It was beautiful here in Sydney. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was a beautiful day. But it was windy. The wind kicked up this afternoon, so I wasn't so happy about that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the weather, right? We're here to talk about anything good and good news, all the good news stories from the week. How did everyone's week go? How are you doing, Leslie, without that yucky old back brace? Hope it's going well. Tennessee, there you go. I always feel weird about people calling me ma'am. It always feels like, something you'd say to my mother. Weird. Oh, Elizabeth, it's raining. It was raining here this morning, but then it cleared up. It was a beautiful day. Hey, Megan, how are you going up there in Queensland? Getting to know everybody and getting to know where a lot of you are. If you haven't watched before, please jump in and say hi. Oh yes, that's my bird Cookie, Diane. He's a little cockatiel and he hears my voice and he responds to that. So yes, most of my customers though are used to him chirping away in the background. You know what, I've had him for I'm not even sure, around 24 years ish, and I don't even notice him. I don't hear him at all unless someone points it out to me. So there you go. I'm glad you're enjoying him anyway. Hey, Salvega, how are you going? All right. Couple of little things as we get started. First of all, if you placed an order last month, every $90 you placed in July worth of order you placed in July got you a $9 voucher. Don't forget, you need to redeem those $9 vouchers by the end of this month. Okay, so if you have vouchers to use, make sure you use them by the 31st of August. Otherwise, they're gone. They will be no good. So you want to use them up. Oh yeah, probably the winds are from you up there in Queensland, possibly. Hey Lorraine, nice to meet you. I don't know, have we not met before? I don't remember your name, so I'm very sorry if I've missed you before. Hey Donna. All right. Oh, and Joan's here as well. All right, so let's switch over to the desk, and I've got a couple of things I want to show you tonight. Let's go. Flick the switch. There we go. All right. I'm just going to try and get this a little bit more centered into my desk. So right now, I think most people would be well and truly aware that our annual catalogue is in full swing. It's been going since May, came out in May, and it goes until April next year. So it's going to be around for a while, and we've got a few other catalogues, mini catalogues and so forth that sort of are going to overlap that. So next month on the 6th of September, the new holiday mini with all the Christmas stuff comes out. Oh, hey, Cherie, how are you going? Nice to see you. Oh, that's okay, Lorraine. Well, it's nice that you made it to join us tonight. I'm going to boast that my ladies that watch these lives on a Friday night are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. So I'm sure that you'll feel very welcome here. It's always lovely. All right, so what I wanted to show you tonight actually is one of my I didn't get this set initially. It didn't really what's the word? Didn't stand out to me. And then I did buy it after a while. And it's the Masterfully Made set. It's got this lovely Masterfully Made DSP and the Gorgeously Made stamp set. And then, of course, the dies of the same name. Now, I have used these a couple of times before. For example, I did a couple of cards just recently with this one. This is one, oh, it's upside down. This is one I did. Okay, you can kind of see that one there, right? Very, very simple stamping down. I used a bit of the DSP over here. And then I have another one. I just think it's out of reach. Maybe not. Maybe it's not where I thought it was, but that's okay. I made it a couple of weeks ago, and some of you might remember. And I thought we'd have a little play with it again, but what we haven't really used is the dies. So I thought I might use the dies a bit more tonight and show you how they work. Because, oh, you like this sweet, Leslie. Oh, no, you love this sweet. Well, that's good. How are you going, Katrina? Nice to see you. So the dies are really interesting. And I think I really bought the set initially because of the dies. So you've got this die here that does, this is a really interesting one. It does like a spiral binding. And you can make something look like a notebook, which is kind of cool. So we like things that do something that is a little bit different. This one cuts what looks like a torn edge. Yes, you could just tear it, I suppose. But if you're using this, it's going to give you a uniform edge. If you're doing several cards, they'd all be the same. And this little label here looks like the edges of that one are torn as well. And then you've got these really, really nice full dies. Now, these dies don't actually match the stamp set. They complement it. They don't match it. Okay, so this one, here's the thing. I don't know if everybody knows this. All right, when you look at a stamp set here on in the book, can you see this word here that says "You're a great friend"? See that one? And can you see how there's like a little, like a different, slightly different color to the white background? There's actually like a little banner around it. That's telling you that that particular greeting matches a die, okay? None of the others have this, and that's because none of the others have specific dies that match them. So the dies in this set are meant to complement it rather than actually cut out the stamped elements. The only one that actually matches is the this word that says "You're a great friend." It fits in this one here, and that's the shape of the die. So if you look at other stamp sets throughout the catalogue, for example, if I just turn randomly, this is the He's All That set, and see how this one's got a different coloured background. This one, that and that one. There's dies for all of those. Okay, so you don't need to cut them out by hand because you know there's dies for those. So it just gives you a little bit more of an insight. Did everyone realise that? I think everyone would have known that. But there you go. You haven't missed it. There you go. No, you haven't, Christine. We're here. Yeah, so there you go. Carol's welcoming Lorraine to the group. Yeah, and everyone's saying hi, so that's lovely. All right, how are you, Judy? You good? There you go, Leslie. You learned something. So whenever you look at any of our stamp sets, see these ones have got a different colour, slightly different colour background. That means there's a die. Okay, so you want to look out for those. Some sets have, like this one here, almost every element has a die. This one doesn't have those different colors because there's no dies that match this. Okay, it doesn't have a matching die set. So look out for that in the catalogue. There's actually just a quick little explanation. There's a few things in here that you might not want to miss. For example, the little pink N. Can you see the little pink N there? That's telling you that this is a new stamp set in this catalogue. Okay, it's brand new. So this set does not have a little N, and that's because it was in a mini catalogue before this. So you can see if there's little N's, it's a brand new set, and it's never been in a catalogue before. If you turn back to page 3, you can see all the catalogue icons. There's the little N, shows new product. If it's got a little clock on it, it's telling you it's a quick and easy project and you can create lots of them. If it's got the mini symbol, it tells you that those dies, the products are sized to work with the mini cut and emboss machine. So say, for example, the mini cut and emboss folders, okay, those are going to be there. The distinctive set, distinctive stamps, They create different, like, for example, the textured floral set is a distinctive set. I'm just looking for, this is also a distinctive set. See how it does dark and light stamping just with the same white stamp. That's a distinctive set. So it tells you if it's got that little image there. The reversibles, and then here down the bottom, demonstrators who reach this have this little symbol on it. It's a yellow symbol, and you'll find it throughout the book. Let me find, there's one. Okay, that little symbol there is telling you this set was designed by one of our $1 million sales achievers. When you hit the $1 million sales mark, or in the US it's dollars, in Australia it's a little bit of a different calculation because of our exchange rate. But when you hit the $1 million mark, they let you work with the concept art team and design your own stamp set. So that's pretty cool. I haven't decided what mine's going to be. It's going to be a few years off, so I've got plenty of time to think about it, that's for sure. One day, if you just keep plodding along, you get there eventually, right? All right. Does anyone have... Oh, you never noticed that. There you go. I love it when we can show you things that you didn't know before, and I hope it makes the catalogue a little bit more usable, a little bit more user-friendly. All right, so we've got some really nice... My first question to you tonight, because this is something, Lorraine, that we do every time I go live, is I ask the girls to help me make up their minds. And so my first question to you tonight, are we going to do a portrait card or a landscape card? Let's have a quick little look at the samples in here. So what page was that again? I can't remember. Goodness me. 103 is the page number. All right. So we've got some portrait and some landscape samples, these two are landscape. We've got the paper, which I can pull out. These cool little sequins, I've been using them a lot on other kinds of projects, not just with these colors. I found when I first looked at this, and this is probably why I didn't grab the set straight away, the paper is probably what I would say too bright for me. And yet I've been using it in small amounts. So for example, I used this one here in a small amount here on the side. Okay. Remember the card we did a couple of weeks ago? Some of you might remember we did this card. This is from, I think, 2 weeks ago when we did the pansy set. And this purple paper here in the background is from this set as well. So I tend to be using probably the not quite so bright pieces because they suit my particular style, but I know some people love bright. Some people love bright. So, okay, the first person to respond was Donna. And Donna, you said landscape. That's really handy to know because I think, let's see, yep, you're the first one that came up on my screen is Donna. And Donna has requested landscape. Okay, so let's go with that. And as you can see, you can do either with this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I'm still making up my mind. Shall I do a bit of stamping and we'll add some, I don't know. I'm tempted because I really like the die that's got the spiral binding down the side. I'm tempted to maybe use, actually I will pull out another piece of paper and show you something I used in a class recently with this. All right, so see they've used it on coloured pieces. They've used it on a white piece and then stamped on the white piece. I think that looks nice. I'd like to do that. And then, you know, they've used it here on a coloured edge. So you can use it in a few different ways. But I'm thinking maybe I might go with this and then we might stamp on it. So we can always cut this down to whatever size we want. So I am going to actually cut the edging on it first. Now, you need this side here that has the open pieces. That needs to be on the outer edge. And then the perforated line goes on the inner edge. So I'm going to pop that there. And I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine and we're going to cut this. So give me a second. Bring that in. And then we'll do some stamping on it once we've cut the edge. All right, so it just fits our cut and emboss machine. The large one does a 6-inch wide, and yes, I am using inches because it's almost precise, which is roughly 15 centimeters, but 6 inches is what most people seem to be comfortable with. And I'm just going to pop that on there and then wind this through. Whoops, helps if I put the other side down. All right. So let's have a look and see how that cut. I really like I love what this does. Okay, can you see this? And then this piece just pulls out like spiral binding. And it looks like you ripped it out of a notebook. I used this on a scrapbook page last month, and everyone really liked it. Just got to pull them out. I probably should have gone back and then forth again. I didn't quite. There's a couple of these pieces that didn't quite cut all the way through, but only because actually I'm thinking I might need a new cut and emboss machine because I've used mine. I've used mine to death, and one of the hinges isn't working properly. So anyway, we'll see. It gets a lot of use, a lot. All right, so because we're going to go landscape, we'll have this to the left-hand side of the card, okay, and then we'll start playing around with some other bits and pieces. The other thing I was thinking, I think I will use the ripped edge, and we'll rip off on this side. I'm not sure on what angle, but like something like that. And so it'll be curvy over that side. But because this is actually card front size, I'm going to cut it down a little bit because I want to be able to see some paper on either side. So I'm going to cut it to 8 centimeters. And we're making it a bit smaller now. All right. So let's see. I love some of the elements in this stamp set are just so beautiful, particularly the text. I really love the text. I'm a sucker for I'm a sucker for text almost any time. I used some just the other day from a different set, and gee, I love how it turned out. Right, so I'm going to use that, and I'm thinking I will use this long piece as well. So let's pop that on a block as well. All right, and the next thing, of course, is to decide what colours. The colours in the paper are Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Berry Burst. They've got some nice colours, and I love that the catalogues also, for every suite, it tells you what the main colours are in the paper. Okay, so it's telling me here, Lemon Lime Twist, Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Azure Afternoon, Berry Burst, and Fresh Freesia. Okay, they're the main colours. And we could use any of the colours in any combo, but Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon is probably my current favourite obsession when it comes to colour combos. So I think I will. Oh, Berry Burst and Pretty Peacock, says Megan. So Megan's already across. It would look all right across the top too. Oh, you're never too late, Nairi. That's fine, and that's a perfect excuse, a video call from your granddaughters. That's completely fine. Well, you could do it across the top as well, but I've chosen in this case to do it on the side. So, oh, you are absolutely okay. In fact, I wish more people would post their cards on my VIP group. So you're very welcome to do that. Sorry, Megan, that you were too late. Hey, Jennifer. Or Jenny, I should say. It says Jennifer, but I know who you are. It is very cool. All right, so let's come in here, and I'm thinking Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, and you said Berry Burst, Megan? All right, well, they're the colours I used last time, and that's why I was thinking, should I use maybe some Fresh Freesia in there just to add in a different colour? But we can, of course, go with these, that would be completely fine. I think I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for my long piece. So I'm going to basically just layer some of these items, and we can always play around with it as we go. I just really like this stamp. I'm not really sure what it's meant to be. It's just really nice. And oh, I'm thinking maybe let's start with Fresh Freesia because it's light, and we can always come back in with the Berry Burst, which is darker. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be nice. All right, so see how nice that text is? I'm just going to restamp that so it's a bit lighter. And I think that that's probably dark enough. And Lost Lagoon always looks good with these colors as well. Always, always, always. All right. So I'm kind of making this up as I go. I like both of these leaves, although this one's probably my favorite because it's a little bit more bold. And I'm thinking maybe that's the one to use today. Shall we do it in Lost Lagoon, maybe? Seeing as that was another color that was mentioned. So let's try that. I'm going to bring in E-Block, which is a good size for this one. And we don't want it to be too dark. Deciding whether to go this way or... Yeah, let's go this way and see how we go. So I'm just layering them. And it just looks pretty because it just does. Now, I do like this one, but I feel like it's going to be a bit full for this. And I'm thinking maybe this guy here might be better. And the question, of course, is going to be, if I was to put that here or somewhere like that, what color should I do? And I'm thinking I could do it sparkly. No, I could do maybe some shimmer paper. That might be really good. And we have got some beautiful shimmer papers. In fact, I've got some Lost Lagoon shimmer paper. That would be really nice. Can you see the beautiful shimmer on that? That could be really good with this. So, sorry, not Lost Lagoon. I do have Lost Lagoon as well, but I think the Pretty Peacock being a little darker, that might be better. So I'm going to go with this one. I've got the colors in the shimmer paper are Lost Lagoon. Oh, I think it's Bubble Bath, Berry Burst, Night of Navy, and Pretty Peacock. They're the colors. They're really nice. Does everyone know the ones I'm talking about? I can pull them out for you if you want to see them. So let's just get rid of some of this. Trying to make it so it fits on there okay. It's a good color combo. Do we still have colored vellum? No, not right now. The only vellum we have, I just got another pack of white vellum because, surprise, surprise, I was out. For anyone who doesn't know, vellum is my obsession. And I struggle to make a card without it. But no, we don't have any colored vellum right at the moment. You can always color it though. Get your blending brushes out and make it any color you like. All right, let's move that. I'll need to bring it back in again in a minute, but that's okay. All right, so I just need to push out the pieces. You should be able to see where it's cut through there, and we'll just push those pieces out. It's quite delicate, these little branches. So you can leave it like that, and you can see that in fact, you guys can give me some advice. What do you think? Do we leave it like this with the pieces in and you can see it, or do we push these out? And you'll see it's a little more delicate when we do that. I think I like it better like that. What do you guys think? With it pushed out. It doesn't take long to do. Oh, yes, there is Melamember foil coming in the new catalogue. That would be lovely. Oh, that's okay. Perfect excuse. Getting busy crafting. None of us understand that. Oh, we've got to pop them out. We've got to leave them out. Okay, I am going to pop them out. I'm so sorry, Marilyn. I think both looks nice. But there's enough people asking me to pop them out for me to go ahead with that. So let's do that. Just going to push them all out. Doesn't take very long. You could, of course, I should be using my take your pick tool for this, not my fingers. I don't know what is wrong with me. Hang on a second. Where is my take your pick tool? There it is. There we go. And we've even got a cushion. That's much easier. What am I thinking? And push that one out as well. All right. I think that looks good. And it's not too chunky. And then we've also got this one. All right. So let's have a little look at where that is going. All right. And then I want to have a ripped edge over here. Okay. So I'll put that down in a minute, but I want to do my ripped edge first. So we just need to decide which way we would like it to go. Shall we go this way so that I think we probably should. So I'm thinking about going from further in to out. So I'm going to go ahead with that. Let me not lose that piece. And let's put that on there like that. And it's going to give us the look of a ripped edge. Without the actual rip. See? Looks good, doesn't it? You could use this for quite a number of different things. Right. Give me 1 second. Just looking for my... So the Marvelously Made paper, like I said, it's very, 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 very bright. And I like it. It's just a little, some of it's a little too bright for me. But the nice thing is if they make one piece bright, the piece on the back is usually a bit more subdued. And so if you're someone who doesn't like too bright, a little bit like me, then you can use the other side. So this side is very, very bright. It's pretty, but I probably will be using more of this side. But there is one in here I really, really like. It's this one. I think that is just beautiful. Look at that paper. Isn't that gorgeous? I like that one. Even though it's bright, I think it's beautiful. I think the blue looks lovely. It's a really nice color. And then on the back, you've got the green. Isn't that nice? So that's probably my favorite piece in the pack. Both sides. I like both sides. That one's a little bright for me, but I like the ripped edges on the back. Okay. I know. It is a dye-to-rip paper. I know. It's so funny. The paper looks like the shape of your state. Really? Does it? Now, where would that be? I'm trying to think what state that is. It's not one of the Dakotas, is it? Oh, you used the bright side today. There you go. Well, it makes it, what it does, it makes it uniform. So if you're making lots of them, you could have them all the same. Whereas if you're trying to rip them, they're not, there's no way they'll be all the same. So I prefer the B sides because they're less bright for the colors. But, you know, everyone's different. So you can see these are, and this one, I don't think we've seen that one. That's the one that I used on that other piece. I used a bit of this because I really like this. I think it's really nice. But that's the other side. It's super, super bright, right? And if I was going to use paper that was bright, that was that bright, I would probably put vellum over it to tone it down a bit. Because that's something you can do with vellum. See this side? Really, really bright. But there's your lemon lime twist on the other side. I know he's going to like that one. If Jodie's watching, she loved that. I thought it was one of the Dakotas. That's true. Rips are not supposed to be uniform. You are correct, Nicole. And absolutely, if you were going to rip them, you'd expect them to all be different. But yeah, it does give you that ripped look. So, all right, I'm okay with this. I'm deciding what color I want to have on the back. And I'm leaning towards this. I'm thinking this might look really, really nice on this, especially with our piece here. But we haven't got a lot of, there's not a lot of the freesia or berry burst. There's not a lot of that happening. So maybe we need to add a little bit more of those. The other option would be, that would look good, would we could put it, and you guys can tell me which one you like the best. All right, we can put this on that background, or we could have it on the freesia background. What do you think? Does it look better on the green, or does it look better on the freesia? Either way. Yeah, thanks, Katrina. I think some of us just find the paper can be the main feature, but if it's very, very bright, you might want to not make it the main feature. All right. I thought you'd like the lemon lime twist, Jody. All right, so let me see. Oh gosh, you guys. All right, Gail said green, and Anna said green, and then Leslie said PP, which I'm assuming, and Katrina said PP, which I'm assuming is the pretty peacock. Okay, am I correct? Is that what we're saying? So the early votes are all for the green, so I'm going to put the pretty peacock aside, and let me see if I've got a bigger sheet. I'm trying to keep as many of these pieces intact as I can because I want to use them. So give me a second. I'm just going to see. Oh, and that would be another option too. Would be a rip like that. That could be nice too. The ripped paper. That would look all right. So either of those are going to be good. All right. So this is the one that we've opted for. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to cut it to size. Deciding which way to go. I don't think it matters for that side. So I'm going to go, this is going to be 9.5 centimeters, which is a little bit less than 4. So you'll get 3 across if you do it this size, by 13.8. All right. And I'm going to grab a piece of pretty peacock cardstock. Like I said, I'm obsessed with this color at the moment. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. And we'll make that 14.3 by 10, which is card front size. So that means if you're in the US, okay, you're going to be cutting your paper to, I've got to get the size right. Oh gosh, where's my template? I hope I've got this right. 5.25 by 4. Does that sound right? I think that's right. Right, so I'm going to put this here. It fits neatly just inside that. And let's pop it on. You could use combo, you could use seal, you could use tape, you could use whatever you like. Oops. Yeah, people are saying leaves, so it looks like I chose the right one. All right, so this piece is going to end up on here. Now, I'm actually wondering if I should have made it a little bit shorter. I probably should have. And we still can. We can go back and make it shorter. So I'm tempted to do that. Yeah. Let me see. Yep, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. Bring that in again. It's just a little bit long. Who likes to make it up as you go along crafting? I hope that works for everybody, because that's what you get with me. All right, so I actually ended up with a little tiny little spiky bit down there, and I'm going to cut that off with my scissors because I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Move that out. Bit of lugging around with the Big Shot, sorry, with the cut and emboss machine. Yeah, I'm happier with that. All right, so I feel like it definitely needs more. Let's see if we feel the same way after we add our piece here. And I'm deciding whether I want it to kind of crisscross over this piece here. I think I do. I'm wondering if I should have had it up and the other piece lower, but it doesn't matter. This is what we got now. So I'm going to just add a little bit of Tombow here and there to some of the bigger pieces. And let's so the die is going to make all the difference to this. Up until this, it's kind of looked not finished or not like it needs something else, but that die is going to add a really nice touch to that. All right, now I feel like it's going to need a sentiment, and I think we need to pop it on dimensionals. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. Now after this, if you've got time to stick around, the next project I'm going to make is going to be with something new, so that will be worth sticking around for. Now we are coming up towards the end of the month, so for those of you who don't know, we also have Craft Along to look forward to. That's coming up Saturday, not tomorrow, but tomorrow week. So Saturday the 26th, I think it is. All right, so this is coming together really nicely. We do have this little piece here. I've got this leftover strip that I cut off before, and I'm wondering if that's going to fit. Ooh, it will. Look at that. We can use that bit. So, but I think I will stamp first. And the sentiments we have to choose from are, you're a great friend, thank you, or hello. Which one would you like? Because any of them would look nice. Shall we make this a thank you card? The first person to tell me which one to use is the one we're going to use. Shade the edges to make look old. We could definitely do that. In fact, before I put this down, I was thinking, you know what I should have done? I should have got a blending brush out and given a little bit of a blend. And it's not really too late. I could, let me see if I can do it without messing up anything underneath. I could do put a little bit of a mask underneath just to be safe. So let me grab a piece of, like just under here, and just give it a little bit of color here in the corner. Should have done this before I stuck it down, but oh well. Doesn't matter. All right, so just a little bit of color there just to brighten that up. And I'm going to add some bling, of course. So what were the questions? Friend, says Solvega. And yours is the first. So that's the one we're going to go with. Thanks, Solvega. And this time I think I'm going to use Berry Burst as per Megan's earlier instructions. So let me pop that on a block. I'm going to pop it on this small block. So this is block G, which is a good size for small greetings. It's a great little size block. I'm actually just thinking I might need to get some more blocks, because when I run a big class, I do use them. So we've got you're a great friend. Just stamp that down. Oh, I got a mark. Okay, when you're using a long skinny stamp, it's really easy to pick up extra edges when you push a little bit too firmly into your ink pad, and we all do it like I just did, okay? It's not a problem. You know why? Because paper has two sides and you always get a second go at something. I'm just going to clean my stamp and start over. So this time I'm going to be a little bit more careful and tap really, really gently. And this time I don't have any ink around the edges, so I'm good. I'm going to turn my paper over, and I'm just going to do that again. And this time I shouldn't get a mark because I've been a little bit more careful. There we go. So everybody does it sometimes. It's really easy to get a little bit too excited and do that. That's such an easy mistake. But it's usually worth redoing. You don't want what they call overstamping, which is when you stamp the ink on the edges of your stamp. You really don't want that. It takes away from the nice look of your cards. So one last time, I'm going to bring this in. Well, actually, I'll be doing it for the next project as well, but last one for this card. And I'm just going to make sure that that's lined up. Little word of advice: you can cut a shape first and then stamp on it, but especially if you're using just try that again. Especially if you're using cling stamps, so rubber stamps, not photopolymer, it is sometimes hard to stamp onto an element like this and do it perfectly straight. And I don't like crooked. Crooked really upsets me, actually. If ever I do a lopsided card that's a little bit crooked on one edge, I usually struggle with it to decide whether or not I like it, because I much prefer straight sides, straight edges, which is probably one reason why I like circles, because you can't get those crooked. They're always straight, right? All right, so this is on there now. Looks good. And this is going to go just across here like this. And I want to have so my little leaves are sort of going over the top of it, and it's going to look like it's part of the card. All right. So I'm going to put some Tombow on this side, just like that, and grab a dimensional and put a dimensional on this side, because that way it'll be the same height. There's already a dimensional over this part where the first side is going to go. And I'm going to just put that over. And so that way it's the right height. But it's not perfectly straight, so that means I've got to just reline it up. Right, last thing it's going to need is some twine and some bling. Now, when it comes to twine, you have different options. We could go with white, but I think we'll lose it. I don't think we're going to see it. I do have other colors, like for example, I have black, but what I'm thinking I would like to do is probably go with linen thread. I love linen thread. It's one of my favorite things that I have in my craft room, and I try and never run out. And if ever I do run out, I hate it when I run out. I always go into a mild panic if ever I can't find it. So I know where my twine is. Just give me 1 second. I did a class with it a couple of days ago, and it's still in my class bag. All right, so I'm going to do the linen thread. I am going to tie it in a bow. It's easy to tie. Of course, if I say something's easy to do, I usually jinx myself. So, but that's not too bad. And then what I'm going to do is grab a glue dot, like so. And we're going to pop this. So this is the right way to use glue dots for anyone who doesn't know this. Open it up so you can see the next glue dot on your roll. I can just see it sitting there. Okay. And then get whatever it is you want to stick and stick it onto the glue dot, onto the roll. Okay. Push it really hard with your thumb and then take it off gently so that the glue dot comes with whatever it is you're trying to stick. And then you stick them. And then you can cut off the edges. I'm using my ribbon scissors for that though. Cut this one a little shorter. And of course, we need some bling. Now, the bling that goes with the set, that if you're buying the whole suite, it goes with it, and it's this one, and you've got Pretty Peacock, Berry Burst, and white. We can use this, or we can use something else. If I was going to use this, though, I would probably go with the Berry Burst because it would be a nice picking up a little bit more on the freesia and the berry color. Or we can pick something different. What do you think? You don't have the fishing DSP. You could use any male kind of DSP. And when I say male, it doesn't mean it has to have tractors and golf balls on it. I mean probably neutral colors. So you could really... Did I get the new circles? No, not yet. You mean the deckled circles, Megan? No, I don't have them yet. No. No, Nicole. I'm not a big fan of that particular nursery rhyme. I don't like crooked pictures either in the hallway. Don't like that. If I see something crooked, I've got to fix it. Can't help myself. So do you think these are nice? Okay. All right. Then we shall use them. But you could, you know, you could go down a different path and use different bling if you wanted to. I'm going to use one of the big ones here. And then I've got a little guy. I'll put a little guy up here. And I might do a bigger one again. There you go, just like that. All right, so of course that needs to go on a white card base. So let me just grab one of those, which I've got handy here on the desk somewhere. Here they are. I'm just making sure it's actually, that's a white card base. So this is just basic white. I like basic white. It's my most commonly used card base. So it's half a sheet of paper, half a sheet of cardstock, then folded, cut in half and then folded in half again. So that makes your basic card base. All right, so this is going to go this way. Oh, did I cut that too small? Let me see. That's not right. It might be the card base that's not right. Yeah, this is right. That's right. But this card base is actually cut too small. So silly me. Let me grab another one. And I'll check this one before I fold it. All right. Yep, that one's right. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So yeah, this one is correct. So the finished size of this is 14.8 by 21 and then folded in half. If you're doing it in the US, it's your 8¼ wide, 8¼ inch width by I've just gone blank. 5.5, I think is right. All right, so this time this should work. Yes, it does. Cool. I have a pair of templates that I have buried under some other paper, and I normally have those handy so I can quickly whip them out and tell you what the American measurements are, or the North American, because it covers Canada as well. So over there they use a different size cardstock. It's called letter, and it's a totally different size to our A4, which is what the rest of the world uses. So it's, yeah, a little bit tricky. The conversion is not that simple. Okay, so there's my finished card. What do you think? Do we like it? Yes, that would fix crookedness, Nicole. Absolutely. Definitely, definitely. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Chris. Thank you so much and welcome. Yeah, I think these are really nice, these little sequins. I've been using them a lot. I use the Pretty Peacock ones. This is actually my second pack of those, so I'm going to have to get some more because clearly I'm using them a lot. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to call that a finished card. Let me put these couple of pieces away, and then we'll get set up for the next one, which is going to be something new. And actually, I'm being a little bit sneaky with the new stuff because a couple weeks ago, I did a reel that some of you may have seen where I made this card. Do you remember? Or not card, sorry, tag. And I was really happy with how it turned out. The reel has some cute Christmas music on it, and it shows in sped up time the making of this tag. Well, this tag is actually what I'm sending out with my catalogue mail out this month. So before the end of the month, I'll be sending out all my new catalogues to everyone who doesn't already have one in my customer group, and I'm sending out one of the tags with each catalogue. But because I'm somebody who gets bored, if I had to make, because it's nearly 100 tags, if I had to make 100 of these, I would get really, really, really bored. So I did two designs. I did a blue design and I did this design. And seeing as I haven't shown how to make the blue ones yet, I thought I'll show you how to make the blue design. So that way I'm also being sneaky, because it means I'll then have one more tag to add to my pile of tags that I need to send out to my catalogs, right? So it's dual purpose tonight. It's serving a purpose, getting me closer to my tag target, but also shows you how to use something new. So what do you think about that plan? Oh, thank you so much for the thumbs up, girls. I very much appreciate it. Oh, Pretty Peacock is the best color, Cheryl. I just love it. I was so excited when they said it was coming back, because it's a color that we had a few years ago as an in color, and I just loved it. And I was so sad when it wasn't going to be around anymore. And then they brought it back. Yay. So how often do I add spray to my scrub? As soon as I feel like it's a little bit dry. If I was sitting down to like a stamping session, I'm gonna just, there's no set time, but I think roughly every half hour, maybe a little bit more, only because if it starts to dry out, it's not cleaning as well. So and if you live in a hot, humid climate, then you probably need to certainly if you live in a dry climate, you probably need to do it more often. Okay, if you live in a more humid climate, you might not need to do it as often. So it depends on where you are. Being up in Queensland, maybe not too often, but I tell you what I do need to do more often is, hey, another Lorraine. This Lorraine is from Ontario in Canada. Hello, welcome here. All right, so I'm going to put these couple of things that I just had out, I'm going to put them away. Let's move that out of the way. And then we'll bring in something new. So, are you ready to play with new stuff, guys? Who's ready to play with new things? Surely yes. I know when it comes to new stuff, I get so excited. I can't wait to show you. And this is what I used to make my my tags. Okay, so this is a new set. It's called Merriest Trees. I chose this one specifically because it jumped right out. It has the most clever dies. Okay, so see here, you can see the tree. Okay, see how many layers it has? It has 3, right? But how many does the one have in the picture? It has 5. So you can do trees with any number of layers because there are dies that match all the different layers. So here's the big one. All right, so this is the big die. Let me open this up. All right, this one actually fits the whole tree. Okay, you can see it cuts out the whole thing. There's a bit of a glare on that there. Okay, but if you didn't want it to be that tall, if you only want it to be 4 layers or 3 layers like I do, then you only need to cut the top layers of it off. So it is super, super clever. I really, really liked this. I thought, what a clever design to use one stamp, but with your dies, make it all different heights. The other thing is you can use this stamp here and give it texture if you would like to. I didn't choose to do that. I've just done it flat and then added some dots, but you can add texture if you want to. If you're using the smaller tree, the 3, this one, you can also add words to it, and the words fit over the top. If those of you who already have catalogs, if you check your catalog samples, you'll see that they've done that in the catalog with that as well. Hi Liz, nice to see you. Lovely to have some newbies with us tonight. That's fantastic. Oh, people were asking if they were Lorraine was affected by the fires in Canada, and I believe they've been quite bad. My friend Susan lives in Minnesota, which is up near the border, and they've been getting quite a bit of smoke from the fires over the border. So, yep, I know it's bad. Hey there, Deb. Nice to see you. All right, so we've also got some nice greetings in here. There's this little one here, to you and yours, and that's the one I've used here. See that? All right, so I've used the tailor-made tags for these, all right, but when I got the dies, I realized that there's also a tag in here. Now, it is a wider tag, but I thought tonight we might use that. The other thing that's really cute in here are these little stars. Can you see the little stars? There's some like, these are like little starbursts, and these ones are actual traditional stars, but I just love them. This is tinsel for your tree. Super, super clever. Check your catalogs. If you don't have one yet, when you get it, check your catalog and you'll see there's some fantastic samples in the catalog that show how best to use this set. All right, so I'm going to actually use, this is going to be a different tag. So I'm doing this version of the tag, but because we have the tag, the wider tag in the die set, I'm going to use that tonight instead. You can see it's quite a bit wider, but that's okay. So we'll just do a little bit of a different design. So not all my people in their mailing are going to get the same tag, and I think that's okay. It'll stop me from getting bored anyway. All right, so this is going to go here, and I'm going to cut my tag first. And so let's just get this through first of all. And I'm going to wind that through to make the tag shape. So for those of you who haven't been to Craft Along is something I do once a month. Saturday, usually towards the end of the month. Well, it's usually a Saturday. Occasionally I have to change the day. There's my tag. See that there? All right, so while I'm here, while I've got my cut and emboss machine, I'm also going to cut my other pieces for the tag. Now, I'm using some paper from a set called Walk in the Forest. Okay, it's got these great little trees on it, and on the back we've got this really pretty snowflake design. And then this is some beautiful, beautiful paper. Oh, now I can't remember what it's called. I don't know if anyone else remembers what it's called, but it's gorgeous. It matches the nativity set and the stars at night bundle. So just love them. They're so beautiful. I'm going to put these through together, and I'm actually going to use the same tag. So let me line them up. And I'm actually going to just take the tag, I don't know if you can see this, off the edge. Can you see that? Bring it down here. You might be able to see it better. All right, let's take it so it's off the edge. I don't need this end bit, okay? And I'm just going to run that through with the same tag die that I used for the balmy blue cardstock. So I'm going to do both levels at once. The nice thing is if you're cutting a simple shape, you can cut two pieces at once. If you're doing an intricate shape, then I would not recommend that. I would recommend that you cut them separately. All right, so I've now cut these pieces. And I've now, I believe, well, I'm going to be cutting my tree in a minute. So we'll have it go back in at that point. So what I'm going to do here is I can decide whether I want, now the reason I've done this is I wanted these pieces that I'm going to stick on here to also have the same stitched edge that my tag does. Okay, so when I take this off, actually before I do that, I'm just going to cut, doesn't matter really how much. I'm going to, oh, there you go, there's an inch, there's a couple of centimeters. So you really can have this as small or as large as you like. So there's, I've just chopped it into a couple of pieces, no particular measurements. All right, so if I wanted the stitching to go all the way around the bottom, then I could stick this on here and my stitching matches up, okay? However, let me bring this in a little bit closer. That might be better. Okay, so if I wanted, and then if I wanted this piece on top of that, the stitching will also match. Okay, that looks really pretty, doesn't it? Isn't that nice? So I think I'm happy with that. Do you guys think that looks all right? Ah, good question. Does it cut? I believe so. I think it does, but you know what? Let's check that before I finish. Don't let me forget. I'm going to continue making this right now, but don't let me forget to see if we can check that. There's 2 stamp sets. Sorry, definitely one. The Walk in the Forest set. I know that there's bears in the set that match the bear punch, which I don't have. I have not got the bear at the moment, even though I really like it. But hey, we don't have any bears in Australia, so it's kind of, even though I like them, it's not my first grab because it's not something we relate to here. All right, so I'm just popping this bit here like that. And so now I've got stitching that continues all the way around. So it then helps to incorporate these pieces into, and I've got these pieces the same width with the stitching ready to use on other tags. So I've got a couple more there. All right. So let me grab some basic white card right here. Yep. And the color I use for this is Misty Moonlight, but you could use Night of Navy. You could even use Balmy Blue. You could use whatever you like, but I just liked the way the Misty Moonlight looked with this. And I'm going to use my E-block again, and let's use the tree. And I only want the top of the tree, so you actually don't have to stamp the whole tree. You only need to stamp the top of it, right? That way we won't waste as much paper. All right, so if I put this on, when I ink up my stamp, I only need to ink up the top 3. Can you see that? I haven't worried about going down further because, hang on, it's a brand new ink pad, so I'm trying to be careful. Oh, and also because it's a photopolymer stamp, I really should be using a matte underneath. All right, so put this down near the edge here, and I'm going to just stamp the top of the tree. If it's not perfect stamping, oh, that's a bit dark, isn't it? You know what? I could massage this in with a spoon like you guys have seen me do before to distribute the ink, or I could just use my old Misty Moonlight ink pad. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using my old one because it's not as dark, and I think that one's a bit dark. The other option is you could stamp it off, stamp it once and then stamp it again, but I think this might be better. Yeah, see, that's a better tone. I think that looks better than that. That first one's a little bit dark. Ah, yeah, tag art. I know what you mean. I used to use it a lot on scrapbook pages. I still do use the odd tag on a scrapbook page because I really like it. All right. So remember, we've got our different trees. And because I'm only using the top 3 pieces, I'm going to use this one, and it's going to cut out my tree perfectly. And it'll look like a complete tree, even though we only use part of the stamp. Isn't that clever? I think it's such a clever set. I love this. Super, super cute. All right, let's bring this in. Now, because I zoomed in before, I'm going to zoom out again because otherwise it's too close to the machine. Let me pull that out. And then I've got the fun job of finding what I just did with the top plate, which I've put down. Where, here it is, found it. Knew it couldn't be far. Oh my gosh, I am losing stuff everywhere tonight. It's usually a sign of the state of my mind. The more I lose things, probably the harder day I had, or the more I've got things on my mind. But I did read somewhere the other day, and it made me feel so much better that that clutter and mess is a sign of a creative mind, right? Which just means I'm really, really creative. That's what that means. Anyone else want to use that excuse? So when you pull that out, now we've got a complete tree. Isn't that cool? I love it. I think that's great. All right, let's move that. And I've got my die, and I'm going to put these back in while I think of them. So this one goes here and this one goes here. All right, so this is going to go, you can put it on either side, right or left. I think most of mine are on the right. So maybe I'll do a left just for fun, this one. Okay, and I'm going to pop this on with dimensionals. So let me add one here and one here. I think there's a few of us, Cheryl, that are amazingly creative. Yep, absolutely. You're not alone. You're in good company here. All right, so I'm popping that one right there like that. Okay. Now, in the stamp set, we've got this little tiny stamp that says to you and yours, this one. And so I used that. I just cut it on a piece. I put it on a piece of basic white. And I'm just going to pop it back on a block. It says to you and yours. And I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight again. And I'm actually going to cut this out by hand because it doesn't take very long and it's small. So it's actually easy to cut by hand. Just cut around it. And it doesn't even matter if you're not 100% straight. Yes, I did say that. I told you I love straight, but sometimes I don't mind things being crooked as long as they look like they were meant to be crooked. Now, if you're going to do that, that means you have to make them crooked enough that it looks intentional. So I prefer it if it's straight, but for something little like this, you can get away with it. All right. So we can put this here. I think I will. No, maybe I'll do what I did on the others and just pop it over the edge of the tree there. And so I'm just going to use my Tombow again. And let's pop that. So it just sort of pops out from the side there. All right. Now for there's a couple of things we need to do to complete this, okay? For this top bit, I use this absolutely gorgeous, I hope you can see it. Look how beautiful this is. It's Night of Navy glittered ribbon. It's got this gorgeous gold glitter in it. And then I use some of our elegant trim, which is this beautiful sparkly gold trim out of the annual catalogue. I use that to tie it off. So that is this. Just grab it. There we go. And let me get the glittered ribbon for you. We've got some beautiful ribbons in this catalogue. We could, if we wanted to, use this one. This is a velvet glittered ribbon. Can you see that? It's just stunning. So this is new. Okay. Oh, hi, Gabrielle. How are you going? Nice to see you there. And I'm just going to... So I don't read German. I'm so sorry, but I can understand a few of your words and they sound good. So yes, the tree does any of them. So you can do one level of the tree, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So there's a die that cuts this one, a die that cuts 2, a die that cuts 3, 4 and 5. So yes, super cute. See, if I wanted the little one, this is the one. I'm not sure. This would have to be for little tiny weeny trees. See, that one does that size. So yeah, you can do really tiny trees, or you can do a lovely big tree. I got it partly too because I can see it having really great, you can use this for Christmas scrapbooking pages and make your trees various sizes, and I think that would be rather fun. So here's my glittered ribbon. I just love this beautiful stuff. Look how gorgeous that is. You could do a rainbow tree. What a great idea. It's fabulous, Deb. Really is. It's probably the set that I looked at first that I went, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting that one. It's just so versatile. And you can do lots of fun things with it. And all I'm doing is making a tag. Well, a lot of tags actually, but tonight I'm just making the one. All right, so I'm just going to tie this by putting it through and grabbing my ribbon scissors and cutting them off on an angle like this, just like that. And then I'm going to get my gold twine and I'm going to tie a bow around my tails here. So let's just get that down there. And I'm sort of holding it with one finger. If you've got someone crafting with you, or if you have a family member not too far away when you're crafting, you can get them to put their finger on that for you, and that'll make life easier. But if not, you'll just need to sort of hold it down yourself while you wrap it around. All right, so I'm just going to pull this so it's a little bit shorter and pull it nice and tight. And I'm going to cut off my ends. All right, one last thing to do. We have in our annual catalogue, let me just find them for us. We have these fabulous things called metallic enamel effects. Okay, these are the metallic ones that are in the annual catalogue. Now you can use, there's silver, there's copper, and there's also gold. Gold is the one that I'm after, so that's the one I want to use tonight because it's going to match my gold paper and my gold ribbon and my gold glitter. So very, very sparkly. These are in the annual, okay? So if you don't have these and you need to do a lot of Christmas cards or a lot of tags or a lot of something, these are a lot more economical than buying embellishments, because your embellishments, you're going to use them up and then they're gone. You've only got a finite number. You can get a lot of dots out of this stuff. Okay, so let me just show you where it is. I've just got to find it. I think, let me try that, 136 I think. Yeah, here they are. They're here. So there's two packs. There's the one I'm using tonight, which is gold, copper, and silver. And the other pack that's in there was the ones we had in the last mini catalogue last year. And that is red, black, and white. Okay, now the black looks more like pewter when you use it. They're really, really beautiful. They are shiny and just lovely. The only thing is they take a little while to dry. Okay, so with that in mind, let me just see. I did have one hanging around here that I had done all three colours on, and I'm just going to see if I've got it handy. Maybe not, but that's okay. You can see how these work anyway. So when you might want to practice, okay, if you have a silicone mat, okay, you can dot them on your silicone mat and make them any size you like, and then actually glue dot them onto your projects. So do them in advance, okay? But if you're doing it as you go, you're going to have like a little dot of it's going to come out. So I hope you can see this. Can you see that? Okay, I just did a dot. I'm going to try and do this with it close to my, so I'm doing, and when you first do them, they come out like almost like a little Hershey's Kiss. They've got a little point on them. Don't be alarmed, because as it dries, it rounds and flattens. Okay, so you don't need to worry that they're going to end up looking like Hershey Kisses, because they will go round as they dry. All right, now you can dot them smaller than that if you want to, but super cute. Here's my caution to you, because they take a long time to dry, and when I say a long time, they're kind of touch dry after, 10 minutes or so. I like to leave mine for a good half an hour before I handle them, okay? So the trick is to make sure you put them somewhere where you're not going to put anything else on top of them or manhandle them somehow, because you do not want to mess with these. These are wet and they will absolutely smudge off if you don't give them time to dry. So I love them. Can you see they're kind of shiny? Can you see that? These are the gold ones. But like I said, there's also copper and silver in this pack, and they're in the annual catalogue on page 136 if you're looking for them. So if I wanted, here's some silicone matte. I'm just looking to see if I had, I did a few the other day on some black cardstock. They look really, really good on black cardstock. And so you can dot them on black cardstock for maximum effect. But just say I want the copper ones. And the copper's what I used on the other tags with the other colors. Okay, so I used copper ones on there. Right, super cute. And they look like proper embellishments, but they're just dots of this enamel effect stuff. So if I was doing this with copper, right, so that's a copper one. And I'll just show you the difference so you can see them. And you can make them any size you like I said. And gold. And then I've got red, black, and white in the other pack. And they're both nice, just depending on what you want to do with them. The white looks like, it can look like snow, so that's really nice. Can you see the 3 different colors? They're nice, aren't they? So, yes, keep them away from the cat. Absolutely, definitely. And I'm going to move this so I can't put my fingers in it by putting it over on the other side of my desk, away from everything, because I do not want to mess it up. So there we go. So that's how it works, and that's how it looks. What do you think, guys? So they're my tags that are going out. If I get bored with these tags, these 2 colors, and I still have more to do, I may end up doing a 3rd design. We'll see. We'll see. And if I do that, maybe I'll do that on a Sunday night if I end up doing another one. So Cherie's saying they don't work well in humid weather unless they're made before it gets humid. Once dry, they're fine. Yep, they work well around here. Let's see. What's Sean saying? You can put a black on the tack just high enough to hold down the ribbon going through the hole. That's a good idea too. And then you do your loop. That's another way of doing it rather than needing someone to put their finger on it. Yep, that's good. Yeah, my cats are not much help either. They're good company. They're lovely company, but not very good, very much help. This morning, I had both the cats coming up and wanting to be on my desk. I had a Zoom meeting, and one of them in particular kept jumping up all the way through the Zoom, up and then back on the floor, up and then back on the floor. And I'm thinking, what is his problem? And then I realized that they were out of dry cat food in the bowl, and I had to duck down to Coles and buy more. So they were trying to tell me something, so I shouldn't have been ignoring them. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Oh, I'm sorry, Cheryl. That's okay. You can always watch the replay for Craft Along. So, yeah, the next Craft Along, thanks for reminding me, the next Craft Along will be Sunday the 26th at 2 p.m. If you don't, I've got all the supplies listed on my blog, and, you know, the measurements for the basic pieces. So let me put that up on the screen. Okay, if you go to that address, lhiggins.blogspot.com, it has all the pieces that you will need. If you don't have, someone asked earlier that they said they didn't have the fishing paper. If you don't have the fishing paper, that's okay. Any neutral colors will work really well. So if you have, you know, dots and spots or something like that, I'm actually not using fish at all in my project. Our theme for this month is masculine cards. I figured in Australia we have Father's Day in September, the first Sunday in September. So I figured that's probably a good day coming up on that. It'd be a good time to do some masculine cards. But don't worry, you don't have to do a Father's Day card if you don't want to. You could do a happy birthday card for a guy. You could do a thank you card, any kind of card that you think is going to work well for a guy. And I think it'll be a fun class. And a few people have told me they struggle with masculine cards. And so I thought, well, let me help you. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different card designs that you can play around with. The main card that I'm going to be doing on the day is a fun fold. And it's one that I designed myself. So there are other ones out there that are similar. The thing is, there are so many fun fold designs out there, different types of cards that you really can go wild, and there are a lot of designs that are very similar. So I did a design that came out of my head, but then when I went looking later on online, there was some others that were quite similar to mine. So I can claim it as my own. I'm trying to work out what to call it. Still working on a name, but we'll see. Maybe you guys can help me name it when it comes down to it. But I will show you that card 2 p.m. Saturday the 26th, and we'll get to make it together. So how did we go tonight? Did everyone enjoy that? These are the projects. So this one I didn't do tonight, but this one we did, and this card also. So this one is with the gorgeously made bundle and the masterfully made DSP. And then I've also used some new product here, the Merriest Trees stamp set and matching dies. Oh, and I said I was going to tell you the name of this paper. Also, let me see. Yes, you were asking earlier, does the paper, this paper is called A Walk in the Forest, and this particular paper is going to be for charity. We haven't been told yet what charity here, only because I think they're probably still finalising the details, and that's why it's not in the catalogue. So when the catalogue comes out, when it's done, they don't yet know which charities hasn't been finalized. So this, I believe, the bear matches the punch. This matches our dies in this set. So you could actually cut the trees. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You could cut your trees with your dies. And once again, we've got the smaller trees as well. So we've got the 5-layer trees, and then there's the smaller ones with the 3 layers. So you can do those as well. And then there's green ones and pretty peacock ones. So the green is garden green, I believe, and maybe some mossy meadow in there as well. But yeah, it looks like garden green, and then pretty peacock. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4-layer one. So you've got different sizes. There's a 1-layer tree. So they've got all of them. Have they got the 2? Yep, there's the 2. So all these different trees cut out with different layers of the dies. Isn't that cool? Makes it super, super useful. I love this paper, and I love this as well. But if you have the bear punch, you can also cut out the bears, I believe. This is really nice paper. Does anyone want to have a look at it quickly? On the back here, we've got, this is the paper we used tonight. Then we've got stripy paper with bears again and Christmas trees. We've got beautiful white and dotty paper, which could be snow or just white dots. Very pretty. We've got pine cones here on this side. Could we turn the bears into large wombats? We could try, Deb. We could see how that works for us. All right, so then we've got little pine needles and holly here, or berries. Little tiny trees there on the back. That's kind of a nice background to the paper, the main paper there. But this particular sheet, yes, does cut out with the trees. So that is the answer to your question. And I think it's going to make that paper really, really user-friendly. A lot of people will want to have it, not only because it's a charity set, but also because it's so useful and matches the dies and punch as well. So there you go. You're so welcome. I'm really glad you like them. So which one do we like the best? Do we like the blue tag? Given that the tag I made tonight is actually a wider tag, I think I like the wider tag. I think that's rather nice. Try not to handle it too much, because you know I'm going to smudge these if I mess with it, right? But do we have a favorite color with the tags? Do we like the blue, or do we like the crumb cake? Yep, have a great weekend, everyone. I'm expecting my daughter up from Sydney tomorrow, and hopefully have some lunch with her, which will be nice. And she's taking, I think, the rest of her stuff out of her bedroom and moving it all down to Sydney. And son number 1, who's child number 2, is actually at work, and he'll be finishing work in just a few minutes, so I need to go and get him. So there you go. You like the blue? Oh, everyone's saying the blue. Okay. I like both. All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. See you Sunday night. And stay safe and warm and well, and catch you then. Bye-bye.